is David Buckingham?
David Buckingham is a media theorist who has done a lot of work with specifically the use of media and media effects on children, and particularly around genre.
And what was his main concentration?
He, like I said, he concentrates on researching children's and young people's reactions with electronic media. But he's famous for a particular quote, and what I'd like to do is read the quote, because while I'm familiar with it, the exact words are quite important. He says, "Genre is not simply given by the culture, rather it is a constant state of negotiation and change." So what he's saying is that genre is not fixed. You can't just say, this genre will always be this. It is constantly changing. And the reason for that is filmmakers and media creators themselves will occasionally change a bit of what they present. But they can't afford to change it wholesale, because if they change it wholesale, the audience doesn't know what to expect. And if the audience doesn't know what to expect, they don't know what they're going to watch. So they have to have something on which to hang their expectations. In other words, this is going to be a rom-com, so we expect a certain amount of comedy, a certain amount of romance, and a real sense of will they, won't they. Okay.
What were his thoughts on the media?
Media are actually about the understanding and the negotiation of genre. And when he says it's in a constant state of negotiation and change, what he's meaning is it's the way that there's a contract almost. It's an unwritten contract, but there's a contract between filmmakers or media producers and their audiences. The media producer needs to be speaking in a language that the audience understands, and the audience need to be able to understand the language, and that language is the generic parts of a particular show or film. And a Western will include certain things, and we know what to expect. A rom-com will include certain things, and we'll know what to expect. And they can only change a little bit without losing the willingness of the audience to participate. The thing is, though, that what Buckingham tends to concentrate on is he says that this reveals the bad side of the world, that everything is negative, and that most of the stereotypes that are employed in film tend to be negative. Most of the generic forms tend to have negative connotations, and that results in parents wanting to protect their children and hide them away from the world. I think it's a very negative and quite sad view of the world, and it absolutely it has to be said and it has to be observed, but it doesn't necessarily mean that his observations are entirely true, that the world is a negative place and that the media makes it more negative. Does that answer your questions? Is that what you're looking for?
Yes, that's perfect. Thank you for your time.